Hello folks, it's that Tassie Wargamer again, and Darren with John. We have got another game of sharp practice today. We are doing another French-Indian war. John's British versus my French. We're in 28mm. What we've done here is we set the table up. We just say, what do we want to do? And we decided we wanted to have a homestead that's going to be under attack. So what we do, we decide the scenario before we decide who's defending, who's attacking, and how many, and the like. So we decided that the defender would be deploying from either blockhouse or these two buildings with only 24 to 25 points of 24 to 25 point army, and the attack would have 60 points. So this is going to be a lopsided game, but that's okay. We just like the story. We don't always want an even game. Sometimes it's good to see how things roll out and make the little stories happen. So a heavily wooded hill up here. We also rolled to see which two areas didn't have wood, and it worked out to be this sector here. So this is a bald hill, that's a bald hill, wood everywhere else. So that's going to affect basically how the attackers come on. I have taken just all I could afford was a level 2 French Marine with 1 unit, and a level 1 officer, French Marine with 1, and that's my entire unit. We've decided that the defender on turn 5 will roll to see if any reserves come on, and again on turn 7 to see any reserves come on, and that will be 1 unit, and that'll be based on dice roll as well. So John's force, he has got, John, these were your provincial rangers?
Yeah.
John's provincial rangers, their skirmishers have come on with an officer. I'll take you over to the table, over to the bench, come around the other side. John has also got a unit of
light infantry, skirmishers, Highland skirmishers, colonial rangers, and an Indian group.
Indian tribe. What John's found last time, we've had a couple of games over the last few weeks that before Christmas that we hadn't been videoing. But John had been using regulars and they hadn't been working out too well. They found a lot of trouble in getting to formation and just got obliterated before they could really do any damage. So John's gone the path of skirmishers. So we've had a flag, we had the bear, I'll show you the bear. I've had my 2 units, but obviously I don't really want to do anything yet because I don't know where John's coming in from, so I don't want to show my hand. And John has just rolled his first unit over here. The bear, you've probably seen that before. We roll to see where he started, and he started in this section here. And then when his ship comes out, we roll a direction dice and a movement dice. And whichever way the target, the arrow moves, he moves that distance, except if it comes up with this one here, he moves directly towards the closest unit in that distance. When he fights with 6 attacks or 3 attacks, and he has 6 wounds. Is that right?
No, it's more attacks than that, I think. Yeah.
Was it? Anyway, we'll let you know once we've decided on the bear again. We'll let you know in the next clip. We're on to turn 3 here. I can't remember if I said before. My force morale for the French was 11, and John's for the British was 9. Discussing the bear before, I think it's the same as normally, but we've decided the bear has got 3 attacks, so every time he attacks it's with 3 dice, and he's got 6 wounds, so basically the same as a unit. Once he gets, there's no shock, simply we have to get 6 kills on him. John, luckily, in that last turn, we're up to turn 3, just finishing turn 3, we're on Tiffin. My guy John had been sneaking up here. I managed to deploy, get out behind this hard cover wall here and put some fire into him. 2 kills, 1 being converted to an officer wound and 4 points of shock. John then snuck up with his Highlanders over here and put fire into my rear, doubling my shock. So I'd taken shock but no kills, luckily. And then so I end up with 3 flags being drawn, so I took that opportunity to deploy my other unit with my level 1 officer, who then laid fire into these guys and managed to get no kills. No kills,
no.
was there? No kills and just 4 points of shock. So shock is going to have a major factor. John has still got 2 units to come on yet, so that's going to be the telling factor, I think. I've still got 2 more turns before possible reinforcements come on.
So they fired, they reloaded and fired, so they are unloaded again, aren't they?
Must be, yeah. So things are going rather terribly for the French, already outnumbered. The unit that was along here ended up getting hit. It wasn't a flank hit, but certainly they were just copped a lot of hit from John's final units that came on. This was his level 3 officer there. He came on with his unit as well as bringing the Indians on. They end up not wiping out, but really hammering the unit of Marines that were here, who ended up retreating here. They then got hit by this unit. They were forced to retreat through this unit here, were up against that wall after being forced to withdraw over it. They then withdrew through this unit. So this unit got an extra 6 points of shock because that was their excess. They end up getting an extra 6 points of shock, which forced them to withdraw. Luckily, that's allowed them to withdraw right up to this hard cover because they're about to cop it anyway from John's Indians. These guys here have still got their officer down and his unit here. I rolled on the last turn, which was turn 5, to see if I had reinforcements. Yes, I did. I rolled to see the amount of points of reinforcements, and I rolled a 2, which meant I basically got no reinforcements. John has kindly allowed me to roll again in turn 6 to see for more points, which may mean I get some reinforcements, which may mean the game goes for a little bit longer. But it's been really good. I said it's asymmetrical. It was designed to be a big force versus a little force, and we're just working to see how it will turn out. The bear at the moment hasn't done an awful lot. He ended up retreating back into the woods, probably due to all the gunfire. Believe it or not, the French are still around. We had, I think it was at Tiffin at one point, and I managed to use my officer's movement. Now and I got him to move directly away from the enemy because the Indians were the closest, so they could move without the restriction of their shock penalty, or without the shock. So they've now got into the woods. Getting to move still really tough. I end up getting a point of shock on my settlers over here who came in, and they're doing okay. They've that little black marker is indicating that they've fouled their weapons and they need to get to water. The water is nearby, so at some point I'm going to probably move those across. John's one here, he's got a similar thing. He's got damp squib, which he has to find fresh ammunition, which we decided was either the card or that box right there. John's forces are certainly lining up, but finally, on turn 9, I managed to roll for a fresh unit, 8 points. So I brought on some skirmisher marine skirmishers who deployed, fired into the back of a unit that were carrying, like only British can. I'm sorry, John, behind there. And he managed to put on, because they were shot in the rear, put on enough shock to cause them to break, and they've run away down into the village, or into the settlement. Still not looking good for the French, but at least the reinforcements have added a little bit of time to the game. See how it goes.
You're going to show the battlefield all laid waste.
And as you can see, the battlefield's currently being packed away. I always forget to do the last little bit, but basically, remember that unit that you saw over in the woods over here? The Indian unit that were there entered into fisticuffs with them and wiped them off the table. My officer, he was the only one left, and as part of that move, the reaction after the fisticuffs, he went off the table as well. And that was it. I got taken down to 0 force morale and lost the game. But it was a good game. It was fun. So while we're here, we'll have a look at the table. This is some hills I was actually given from Dennis. Dennis, if you're watching, these are some of your old ones. We've copped a little bit of damage from travel. And what I'm thinking about doing is actually a nice straight cut straight through the middle, painting that the open edges black so they can stick together as a hill, or I can take them apart and actually have them as edge pieces, because they are quite large on the table, so they generally take up a lot of room for what is, but we plan a slightly smaller than 4x6. What else have we got here? This is one of John's really nice pieces, resin, I think, barn. These are great. If you ever sell, I'm not sure where these are from. Probably JR Miniatures, maybe something like that. But these, I've got some, but these are John's as well. Latex, so they really stand the test of time, and they're really good. And these ones over here, these are definitely JR Miniatures. These are they're latex river pieces, a bit thicker latex. John's painted here's a darker blue and put some nice rushes. I've got the same ones, but mine are lighter blue and a little bit too light blue. They probably don't, they look more like a coastal river. Anyway, thanks for watching. Big shout out to Jack Sarge. John recently purchased plenty of 20mm World War II stuff. That was good. We're going to have a couple of more games of French Indian War while this is our phase that we're going through, and then their next one will be back to Chain of Command with those beautifully painted World War II 20mm stuff. So shout out to Jack. Glad to see you making videos again, Jack. Talk to you soon.